Shut up and sit down.
What's the story, internet? I hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far. So, no time to frill about because there's a lot of football to talk about. So, first off, Ajax versus PSV. That's the match that I previewed last week. Finished 2-2, so quite an interesting match there. PSV were 2-0 up after the 21st minute, and then Ajax came back in the 60th and it finished level. So that means that Ajax is in first on 35 points, PSV is in second on 34. Ajax had 67% of the possession and 11 shots and 4 on target. PSV had 33% of the possession and 7 and 7. 7 shots, 7 on target. But as I said before, possession does not mean victory. So, on to the next one, going to move into the Bundesliga. Dortmund 3, Leipzig 1. So Dortmund just running riot there. So that means that Leipzig are still in second, but they're 2 points behind Bayern Munich. Dortmund are 2 points behind them now in fourth on 28. So that's quite a big result for the Bundesliga. But even bigger than that was Borussia Mönchengladbach beating Bayern Munich 3-2. So Bayern Munich were ahead 2-0 and then succumbed to 3 goals from Borussia Mönchengladbach. So even though Mönchengladbach are in 7th, it really helps out the teams below Bayern because it puts them within touching distance, whereas they could have been running away with it. So, and then Union Berlin and Wolfsburg drew 2-2. So they are 2 other teams that are vying for that place. They're still 8 points behind Bayern Munich, but that was important because it kept them both within touching distance. So a lot happening in the Bundesliga this week. Nothing happening in the La Liga, with the exception of Real Madrid got a goalless draw with Osasuna. So that's just not good for Real Madrid. They're only 1 point behind Atletico Madrid. However, Atletico Madrid have 3 matches in hand. So, yeah, Real Madrid just are not doing well at the moment. So, will they be able to pick themselves back up again? Only time will tell. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens there. So, yeah, Real Madrid just embarrassed by Osasuna. And then going into the Serie A, now there is one match that's happening right now, Juventus against Sassuolo. So if anything happens before I upload this video, I will insert it here. And either way, let's move into the Serie A. So AC Milan won 2-0 against Torino, so they continue their run at the top of the table. Inter Milan and Roma drew 2-2. So both of them could have had an opportunity to catch up with AC Milan. Inter Milan would have been on 39 points, Roma would have been on 36 points, but as it stands, AC Milan are now 4 points ahead of Inter and 6 points ahead of Roma, 9 points ahead of Atalanta. So, yeah, a good day for AC Milan, and not a good day for Roma or Inter. So, one that I really want to talk about, and I know I forewent the Bundesliga, but I wanted to do this in its own segment, was Schalke. So they've had a 30-match losing streak, and I brought this up a couple of weeks ago. What was the name of the team? There's another team who had the longest losing streak, Tasmania Berlin, of 31 matches, and this was Schalke's 30th match. And they would have equalled the record. 31st match, sorry, and they would have equalled the record. And they went and won 4-0. So they technically have the longest spell in days, because they had 358 days. That was because of the pandemic. So Tasmania still have the longest amount of matches. They can still hold on to the record, which is good for them because they use it as a as a selling point. So but Schalke won 3-0 thanks to Matthew Hopp, an American forward who's 19, made his debut for them in November, and he went and scored a hat-trick. So they went and beat Who did they beat? Hoffenheim. There we go. I just seen it and then it disappeared. So yeah, they went and beat Hoffenheim 4-0. So quite an emphatic way to to announce that you're back. They've gone through 4 coaches, and so hopefully this will be their rise back to winning ways. But we'll see. Only time will tell. As we saw with, I know it was a long time ago, but Derby County back in the Premier League still have the lowest points tally in the whole league history, with 9 points when they got relegated. They beat Newcastle in December 1-0, an incredible Kenny Miller halfway volley. And everyone was like, this is the turning point, they're going to do it, and they just lost everything since then. So this doesn't mean that Schalke's back, but they've broken the streak. So can they keep it up? So now into the longest segment, we're going to go into the FA Cup. So obviously starting with Friday, we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers beat Crystal Palace 1-0. But the one I really wanted to talk about was Aston Villa versus Liverpool. So the Aston Villa had a huge COVID outbreak and couldn't field a first team 11. So they had, I believe it was 7 representatives from the under-23s and 4 representatives from the under-18s. And then the bench was made up of a mixture. And Liverpool went 1-0 up in the 4th minute, but Louis Barry, a local lad whose dad has been a season ticket holder at Aston Villa all his life, scored the equaliser. So incredibly, they were level with the champions of England. And then Liverpool went on to win 4-1, but still they have nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, the academy side beating or holding their own against the defending champions is incredible. That's what the FA Cup is all about. So just going through some other matches, Everton beat Rotherham 2-1, but I point it out because it was after extra time. It wasn't easy for them, so they had to take it to extra time. And let's see the exact, is a 93rd minute goal by Doucouré. But fair play to Rotherham. Fair play to Rotherham for holding their own in that one. Just seeing... Oh, Chorley, of course. Chorley beating Derby County. So Wayne Rooney's Derby County have been knocked out by Chorley, which is an incredible, incredible result for them. So they continue on to the next round. Blackpool knocked out West Brom on penalties. So that's incredible because Blackpool, I think if they're not in League One, they might even be in League Two. So that's incredible against a Premier League side. Burnley survived a scare and a half against Milton Keynes. They were 1-0 down going into injury time with a red card, and they got the equaliser to take it to extra time, thanks to Mate Vidra. But they were down from the 29th minute and just kept on getting worse and worse. And but they finally took it to extra time, and they won on penalties. Just seeing if there were any other upsets through here. Leicester beat Stoke 4-0. They could do it on a rainy night in Stoke. Arsenal beat Newcastle 2-0. Brentford, as we know, were the League Cup semi-finalists. They went through against Middlesbrough 2-1. Manchester United beat Watford 1-0. The Southampton-Shrewsbury match was unfortunately postponed. I believe it was due to COVID. Then going on to today's results, Chelsea beat Morecambe 4-0. Havertz and Werner finally finding their feet a little bit, although still it's still not good though. So, but the big one, Crawley Town knocking out Leeds United 3-0. And they even brought on, and I know that people have said this before, I know that it's been all over the news, but reality star Mark Wright was on the bench and he came on in the 91st minute just to add memes to injury. So, and then Manchester City winning 3-0, Tottenham Hotspur winning 5-0, Vinicius doing the Mbappe celebration thinking he was winning the Champions League. So, there is another match that's happening, it's due to kick off. Oh no, it's actually kicked off, it's underway right now. It's Newport County versus Brighton. The only reason I bring it up is because there could be an upset. So if there's an upset, I will insert a segment here for that upset. If there's not an upset, then just pretend that I never said anything. So those are all the fixtures for this weekend. I will be back tomorrow with a preview video. There are quite a few Premier League matches. There's the Burnley-Manchester United match, which has been postponed since the very beginning of the Premier League. So yeah, there are quite a few matches this week. So I'll be back tomorrow to preview the Premier League matches, any other matches in any other leagues that I can see. And then I'll be back on Thursday to review it all and then to preview the upcoming weekend's fixtures. So in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe, keeping out of trouble. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And until then, ta-ra for now.